As we welcome you inside the queue, down here on the floor, all of us wearing pants as well, not as colorful as LeBron's. Chuck's about to go shopping.
Hey, I never thought I'd say I really wanted those shorts again after looking at those things.
Go ahead, take a look.
What the hell is that? This guy's he's the greatest basketball player in the world, but that's just awful.
Not in your wardrobe?
That's not in my wardrobe.
Meanwhile, Chuck was complaining before set for about 10 minutes about you fitting okay on the chair now because you were a little bit upset.
I'm good.
All right. Got G. Hill, C. Webb, Charles. Here we go. Coming home, 0-2. Got to put that behind you. How about the Cavs coming in here to Game 3, G?
Well, this is a must game for them, must win. And they had an opportunity in Game 1. They let it slip away. The Warriors came back. They weren't complacent, took care of business Game 2. It's going to be loud in here, a lot of noise, a lot of momentum. They're going to have to feed off the energy here in this building. They have to win this game because if they lose this game, it's over and the Warriors will sweep.
You know, Webb, one of the good things is everybody shoots better. We talk about the others, but the stars of the Cavaliers, including LeBron, all play better in this building.
Yeah, like Grant said, they're going to have to play off the energy of this crowd. They also play better defense here. They also play tougher with more passion here, and they're going to have to use that tonight because if not, again, we're going to probably say this a million times tonight. If they don't win tonight, the series is over. So I expect, the others to play better. LeBron always plays great, but they're going to have to do it on the defensive end and with their energy here in this building.
Let me say something. Watching the first couple games from home, the officiating has been awful. The officiating has been awful the first 2 games. That's not the reason the Cavs are down 0-2, but you have to say the officials has been awful. And that one call was an awful call, this block charge. They made a huge mistake. They know they made a huge mistake because you can't review block charges. And they went to review whether he was in a restricted area and took a whole nother call that didn't even matter. So that was a bad call, but the officiating overall has been awful. But tonight, this is clearly a must-win for the Cavs. They got to get some help from everywhere. I mean, we know LeBron's going to do his thing. We knew Kevin Love's going to do his thing. But those other guys, man, they got to stop acting like the light's too bright. Hopefully the home crowd can pull them through. This is a big game for the NBA, not just for the Cavs, because this is last year was the first time teams have met 3 years in a row in the finals. Now this is the 4th year. If they sweep the Cavs, it won't be good for the NBA. It's just a bad look. So I really want to see a competitive series. I'm pulling for the Cavs tonight.
Joe Borgia, by the way, from the league, Charles will be escorted offset. Got it. But during the segment.
What? If I said something bad about the officials, y'all going to throw me off?
But Chuck,
don't tell them that.
I don't think it was a bad call. I think they followed the rule. I think it's a bad rule.
Yes.
But the rule says on a block charge in the last 2 minutes, you can actually go, it's a trigger. And you can go and review, and then you can make the right call in that situation. I don't like the rule, but I do think in this case the officials did the right thing.
You think that was a block?
Yeah, I think it was a block.
See, a lot of people don't know you can actually be moving on a charge.
Chuck, you ever taken a charge?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got hurt.
No, not
Sean Bradley ran over me.
A charge.
Yeah, Sean Bradley. Must have been my mistake to muscle up Sean Bradley.
Yeah, he caught me in the right spot, man. But I actually thought that was a charge.
Okay, all right.
But we can discuss. Both officials had it right and wrong. And I think I always try to defend the officials because I think they get a bad rap because of instant replay. Everybody gets the call right in instant replay. But they've had a tough series. They made some awful calls so far, and we got to call them out on that.
One of the big questions coming into Game 3, the health of Andre Iguodala. With more on that and the Warriors side of the story, here's Jared Greenberg. Jared?
All right, Casey, well, nothing is official just yet. All signs pointing to Andre Iguodala making his return to the Warriors lineup tonight. Iguodala hasn't played in the last 17 days due to a bone bruise in his knee. He did get on the court and practice with his team for the first time yesterday, and the team is expected to really watch closely his pregame shooting session, which is scheduled for 7:45 Eastern tonight. Now, keeping up with his season-long tradition, we don't expect Steve Kerr to announce any changes to his starting lineup, which may or may not include Andre Iguodala this evening. He prefers to wait till the very last moment to announce who he's going to start in these games. Now, also, I've been told that we shouldn't expect to hear about any sort of minutes restriction to Andre Iguodala. Coach Kerr prefers to monitor the player with his own eyes. If he's playing well, keep him out there, and also keep in close communication with the training staff to see how Iguodala's knee is holding up. That's the story with the Warriors. Let's get more on the Cavaliers with David Aldridge.
Jared, thanks very much. Now, even though the Cavaliers are down 2-0 in this series, they still have a belief that's born from their success in 2016 against these Warriors in the finals that they can get back into the 2018 finals. They feel like they can compete with this team, and they will especially be better at home where they think things will change. Among the changes you'll see in their rotation tonight is probably more Rodney Hood. They believe that the forward, who hasn't played very much the first two games, can get different and better shots with his size than some of their other players. Now, we all know the cliche that teams tend to play better at home and on the road, and it is true, but we almost always limit it to the role players. So while Kyle Korver does shoot more than 20 points better at home, both on threes and on field goals, LeBron James plays better at home too. He leads the NBA in scoring among players at home at more than 38 points per game, and he's shooting almost 41% on threes here at Quicken Loans Arena. Back to you, Case.
All right, DA, thank you. Look at the numbers. The Cavaliers, statistically through two games, finals franchise history, they've been down this road before. How about each of the last three seasons? Now, LeBron, he's used to it. He has rallied back in the past down 0-2 to win a playoff series 3 times in his career. Beginning in 2007, the first time that it happened, when the Cavs were able to come back to defeat the Pistons 4-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals. We've got LeBron heading into Game 3 on his confidence level at this point.
I know it feels like we're down 2-0, and I don't like the way I feel. I don't like the way, the mood that I'm in right now. Knowing whatever, there's no like, okay, you're down 2-0 and you feel better than you're down 2-0 before. It's just, when you're down like this in a deficit like this versus a team like this, there's no good feeling. So, I don't feel good about it.
Jermaine, and the last question on the left.
With that moment between regulation and overtime, like Chris said, it has gone viral.
Give me 1 second. Sorry. I don't feel good how I feel right now. Not how I feel about the rest of the series. I know how clips can get broken up, and somebody can clip that and be like, oh, LeBron said he doesn't feel good about this. I personally don't feel good today of the deficit that we have, not about tomorrow. I feel great about our opportunity. Go ahead.
All right, so some clarification from LeBron. Got 3 stars on my set. You know what it's like for the teammates to look at you and say, okay, let's jump on your back. G. Hill, LeBron, Game 1, aggressive, 51. Game 2, aggressive to try and get teammates involved. They miss a lot of open shots. What LeBron do we get in Game 3?
Well, it's amazing that he can beat you a number of different ways, but I think at home he will come out and be aggressive, looking to score. The great thing about LeBron, he can read the situation. I think he can kind of do both, but I think he's going to come out, be aggressive, try to set the tone. The guys will feed off of him, try to get some confidence off of his leadership. But he's got to come out, set the tone early.
How tough is it, Webb, to trust your teammates? You know you need them to win. They missed a ton of open three-pointers, uncontested in Game 2.
Yeah, sometimes it's tough, but, LeBron, he's shown that he's trusted his teammates all year long, and, he plays with the balance. So even when he's going for 51, he had 8 assists there, so he still was even trusting his teammates then. But we heard David Aldridge say he shoots better at home, so I expect him to be aggressive early because this is the only shot they have, and then to kind of trust the players as he goes on, maybe gets tired, and then kind of rest and get back in the game.
I was very disappointed in the Cavs after Game 1 leading into Game 2. I thought they didn't come to JR's defense. JR know he screwed up. We all know he screwed up. But the body language on the bench, the stuff I'm reading in the newspaper and watching on television, I was very disappointed that, number 1, LeBron, number 2, Ty Lue, and some other guys on the team. Like JR said, the only guy that talked to me was Kyle Korver. Listen, when you're the leader or you're the coach, nobody tries to miss a shot. Nobody tries to do anything stupid. But you got to realize you're in a 7-game series. There was definitely a hangover in Game 2. But I've always, when some guys on my team play bad, there's some guys you have to kick in the ass. That's true. But like a guy like JR needs constant love. He's an emotional player. He's a good player. But I just didn't like the body language and the vocal language that I saw from the Cavs going into Game 2, and that's when they got beat down. You got to pick guys up, man. Dude, they lost one game. They played a hell of a game. They made a mental mistake. George Hill get off the hook for missing that free throw. But everybody wanted to blame the JR fiasco. But, man, I was just disappointed. I didn't see those guys like, come on, man, we got JR's back. JR made a mistake in game one. We're moving past that. We're going to be pissed off after game one. We're going to think about it probably the next day, but that's over after that. I didn't see any of that coming from the Cavs.
You know, I don't know, Chuck, if leaving him on an island had anything to do with it, but 2 out of 9, 5 points from JR. Didn't play well in game 2. Look at the three-point percentages and what we've seen so far from the Cleveland Cavaliers and their shooting in the postseason. It's a huge part, Chris, of why they win when they win. Is it maybe the biggest factor for game 3 that their guys, the others at home, hit some of those shots they missed in game 2?
Well, the reason why it's so important that they hit them is because they have the best penetrator and facilitator in the game in LeBron, and he attacks and attracts 2 to 3 defenders when he goes in. So you're going to get wide open looks. And, yeah, you know, you got to knock those down. But as Chuck says, nobody's coming out here trying to miss those. I think for guys, too, when you're missing those shots, pump fake, take it to the hole, try to score in other ways. But LeBron's going to trust you. He's going to find you. And hopefully, if you're a Cavs fan, they're going to use that energy to be positive tonight.
Hold on. Let me say one thing. Going back to the Boston Celtics.
What do you want, a washcloth?
No, because Casey, I got to say something.
Go ahead.
You show these three-point percentages.
Yes.
And when they make threes, they win.
Yep.
Of course, all damn teams make them when they go in. But you go back to Game 7 against Boston. Boston goes 7 for 47. They keep shooting. Then you got those fools down in Rockets go 0 for 24. Dude, you don't have to shoot threes. There's not one of the 10 commandments say, we got to shoot threes. Put your damn head down and go to the basket. This notion, listen, and I ain't one of these old guys trying to hang on to my pads and play the game the other way. It's all right to take a layup every now and then.
But, Chuck, the way that teams play with LeBron James, you can go to Miami, the blueprint in Miami, the blueprint here, although you don't have a Kyrie or another guy that can go get a shot, you space the floor with shooters, and you give him room to operate.
Yes.
And he plays the same way now as he did in Miami. He doesn't have that other guy, though, that he can take a possession off and go make a play. So as a result, the way they play, you got to knock down three-point shot. I agree with you.
They could play faster and get some layups before. They could post Kevin Love up more in the post. Listen, Jordan Clarkson, they ruined his game. They got him thinking he got to stand out there and shoot threes. Now he got zero confidence. Same thing with Jeff Green. They got him standing there. Jeff Green's a hell of a player. But this notion where you got all these players who have become like, I'm just going to stand on the perimeter. Listen, it's great if those threes are going in, but these guys sometimes they got to just put their head down and go to the basket.